Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of God at Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nashta prayesha padrishu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke patir bhavati naistike. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troubles unto the heart is almost completely destroyed. A loving service unto the personality of Godhead, with praise, with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Very nice. So this one is the video conference number 24. We dedicated 19 of them to the Bhagavad Gita and all others to the Srimad Bhagavatam. Before beginning, I would like to read something about the Bhagavad Gita. Of course, we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam, but the concept is not different. So I just came across this writing and I think, and I just like it. So I would like to read it for you. Krishna is known as Lila Purushottama. He manifests all varieties of Leelas. He came 5,000 years ago in his own Svarupa. At the end, in his Kurukshetra Leela, he gave his message in the form of Bhagavad Gita. He spoke it to Arjuna. Through Arjuna, he gave this message to the whole mankind. But one should not think that he only gave it to Arjuna. We call this Shaka Chandra Nyaya. Nyaya means logic. Shaka means branch of the tree. And Chandra means moon. The branch and the moon, logic. The child cries, so what does the mother do? The mother says, don't you see the moon there, the very effulgent silver plate? Don't you want to have it? The child says, yes, mother, where is it? Where is it? Don't you see it? It is in the sky. The full moon looks like an effulgent silver plate, very beautiful, but it cannot be seen because of the branches of some tree are obstructing the vision. It is just as the opening of some branches, but the child cannot see it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it, mother? Look at this tree. Look at that big branch there. She points out the tree's branch, and thus the mother shows the moon. This is the logic of Shaka Chandra Nyaya. By pointing out the tree's branch, the mother shows the moon to the child. Similarly, pointing out to Arjuna, Krishna shows everything to mankind. And this part of a lecture given by a devotee, which I liked, is to also to show that sometimes it's very important to give examples, just like many times we to expound a philosophical principle, we speak in a way that is indirect, so that people can understand. So we think that this way of teaching is very proper. So today we are going to begin the Srimad Bhagavatam 1-19. And we are not going, as I said the last time, we are not going to read all the verses, but in this second chapter, many of the verses are very important, very, very basic, very important. So I'm going to read them. When I meet a particularly important verse, I'm going to read it. And this is, the 19 is one of those, very famous. All the big preachers in our movement knows these verses by memory, and this is one of those. Tadara Justamo Bhava Kamalo Badayaschaye Cheta Etair Anavitam Stitam Sattve Prasidati. As soon as this word, irrevocable devotional service is established in the heart, the effect of nature, mode of passion, and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankering, disappear from the heart. Then the devotee is established in goodness and he becomes completely happy. So I think this verse, it's quite clear by itself. It doesn't need much elaboration. But just as one begins to do devotional service, which means chanting Hare Krishna and studying the philosophy, going to the temple, etc., we see this this effect that one becomes peaceful. His mind becomes peaceful because finally he has found a reason for life. So we become happy. Then the devotee is established in goodness, not in transcendence. The word sattva, stitan sattve prasidati. Stitan sattva means becoming fixed in the mode of goodness, which means that this is the best condition for understanding Krishna consciousness. Until one is a prisoner of passion, then he has many difficulties. Passion means, just to make an example, you know, after 10, 15 minutes, he cannot continue hearing because it just becomes unrest, you know, impatient. He wants to go to do something else, he's thinking to do something else, etc. Or the mode of ignorance. Mode of ignorance means, no, today I don't want. You know, today I just don't want to think all these complicated things. I want to think, I want to watch TV. And so until somebody is under this mode, then they cannot understand Krishna consciousness. Evam prasanna manaso bhagavat bhakti yogataha bhagavat tattva vijnana mutta sangasya jayate. Thus established a mode of unalloyed goodness, the man whose mind has been enlivened by contact with devotional service to the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation from all material association. So there's two different words. Before, the word sattva has been used, and sattva means goodness. But now, vijnanam mukta. Vijnanam mukta means liberation. And liberation is the stage after the stage of goodness. Stage of goodness means I'm happy. So I like to chant, I like to hear, I like to do service. But after some time, it becomes more purified, and then it becomes attracted to Krishna. In the mode of goodness, one does things because he knows that it's okay doing that. In the mode of transcendence, he does it because he likes it. In mode of goodness, also you like it, but sometimes you like it, and sometimes you don't like it. When you are transcendental, you always like it, and you always like it more and more. Thus, the knot of the heart is pierced, and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruitive action is terminated when one sees the self of the master. Vidyate hridaya grantis chidyante sarva sanchayaha Ksiyante chasya karmani drištva evatmanishvare. Very, very beautiful verse. Chidyante means cut to pieces. Cut to pieces means that all the ideas, all the things that you thought they were good, the whatever you thought that it was the aim or the goal of your life, transcendental knowledge cuts it to pieces, and the transcendental knowledge, the transcendental realization becomes effect, as it says, we say every time, as an irrevocable fact. Irrevocable only when one is pure, otherwise it's revocable. Means a devotee can fall down. As long as not as a pure devotee, everybody can fall down. Ato vai kavayo nityam, bhaktim pramaya muda, vasudeve bhagavati kurvanti atma prasadani. Certainly, therefore, since time immemorial, all transcendentalists have been rendering devotional service to Lord Krishna, personality of Godhead, with great delight, because such devotional service is enlivening to the self. Krishna consciousness is not a new religion. It's not something that Srila Prabhupada brought here. It's not something that came from Srila Prabhupada's imagination or the imagination of the great acharyas who wrote beautiful books of philosophy and spirituality. But this is been going on nityam, from time immemorial. Actually, the word nitya means eternal. But here it's been translated as a time immemorial, just to give an idea, just to give a number. When you say eternal, then you don't have any idea of when it begins, when it ends, But from time immemorial, so you have an idea that this happened in some time. At least this word time immemorial gives this effect on me. I don't know if because my English is limited, but I see some difference between eternal and time immemorial. And when somebody is practicing devotional service, he feels very much enlivened. He feels very happy, it's always stable. An advanced devotee is always stable. He's not angry today and tomorrow is happy, and it's always the same. Which doesn't mean that sometimes it's not happier, sometimes a little sadder, but basically his mood, it never changes. This is another beautiful verse, and the transcendental personality of Godhead is indirectly associated with the three modes of material nature, namely passion, goodness, and ignorance. And just for the material world's creation, maintenance, and destruction, he accepted three qualitative forms of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Of these three, all human beings can derive ultimate benefit from Vishnu, the form or the quality of goodness. We have studied the three guna during Bhagavad Gita class. I don't know how much can we say more. Of course, we can always say something more. And I don't know if I was able to be clear of what is sattva, rajas, and tamas. But they are qualities. Just to give you an idea, what is white? In your perception, if you could, make come say, how you say that in English? I need my help. The Google Translate. Compare. If you could compare the white color to one of the three gunas, which one it comes out in your mind immediately?
Goodness.
to goodness. Why? I don't know. It's just natural, because it's clean, because it's beautiful. If you see a red color, to which guna you would compare it? To passion, of course. And if you see black, to what you would compare it? To tamas. If you see a man who is very peaceful and gentle and steady, what do you think? These qualities are sattva, rajas, obviously sattva. If you see a man who's always active and he wants to do things, this is passion. If you see a man who likes to sleep, he's not very kind, he always gets angry, this is tamas. If you see a city, a dirty city, that's tamas. A city who is very active, that's rajas. A very beautiful city with a lot of green and on the bank of a river or the bank of an ocean, and there are flowers, you think to sattva, you know. So like this, there is this description of qualities, and guna means qualities. So to create is obviously passion. Brahma is the incarnation of the Lord for the quality of passion, because it creates the universe. And then we have Shiva, who destroys the universe when the time comes. So Shiva is the demigod for Tamaguna. But who is maintaining the whole creation? That Vishnu. So Vishnu is the guna avatar. They are called the Triguna avatar. We have 3 guna avatar, and Vishnu is the avatar for the maintenance of the universe. So here, Srila Sutta Goswami says of these 3, Shriyan Sita Takalu Sattvatano Nanam Syuhu, says all these 3 of human beings can derive ultimate benefit from Vishnu, the form or the quality of goodness. So he makes a difference and say, be a devotee of Vishnu, both for your period of studying Krishna, practicing Krishna consciousness. You should practice Krishna consciousness in goodness, not in passion, not in tamas. And also, once you are liberated, better you relate with Vishnu. And Krishna, Vishnu is the same thing. Firewood is a transformation of earth, but smoke is better than raw wood, and fire is still better, for by fire we can derive the benefit of superior knowledge through Vedic sacrifices. Similarly, passion, rajas, is better than ignorance, but goodness is best, because by goodness one can come to realize the absolute truth. So that's why Srila Prabhupada, when he came to the West, he gave a lot of rules, and not really in the first days or the first months, even the first years. He didn't give many rules, but after he began and say, this is the rule if you want to advance in spiritual. And the majority of these rules and regulations are to become a Brahmana, to become someone under the influence of truth. So much so that Srila Prabhupada was criticized because some of the rules he gave us really does not refer directly to the Vaishnavism, to the Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Like, if you see the deities that we worship are not the same worship that is being carried on by thousands of years in Vrindavan, in other places, are a different type of worship. And our type of sadhana or discipline, the way we live, etc., is not necessarily, Gaudiya, meaning if you read the Chaitanya Charitamrita, you read of people renouncing everything and dressing in loincloths and traveling and and doing austerities, etc., it's very different. We dress very nicely, sometimes with silk, and sometimes we do feasts, say we eat nice prasadam, etc. Somebody can say, wait a moment, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they didn't live in this way. You know, they lived under a tree. If you want to be Rupanuga or follower of Rupa Goswami, you should live as he did. But actually, Srila Prabhupada didn't told us that. He told us how Rupa Goswami used to live, but he didn't tell us to live in that way. He told us to live as Brahmanas. And that's why we tell people, please dress nicely, speak nicely, think nicely, and everything you do should be under Sattva Guna, at least Sattva Guna. And then Sattva Guna, because by goodness, one can come to realize the absolute truth. Tasmat Sattvam, Tasmat Sattvam Yat Brahma Darshanam. It's very, very clear, Sanskrit in this case, that if I want to realize the absolute truth, Brahma Darshanam, Darshana means to see. If I want to see the transcendental reality, one has to live in a sattvic way. I am having some problem with my eyes. I need not to read for 5-10 minutes. So if you could help me by making some questions so I can, at least for 10 minutes, so I can, because in Spanish I have, but in Rosario reading, and then I'm not forced to read attentively, you know, but in English I had to read myself. So give me 5-10 minutes of questions, and then remember the science of questions. I give class, you make questions. This is my job, and this is your job. So there was no Bhagavad Gita without Arjuna's question. And questions do not need that you don't know the answer. You may know the answer, but you do the question just to, first of all, help me, enlivening me, and second, because you never know, maybe I can say something you never heard before. Okay, so we have, wow, 3 questions. Thank you very much. This will be enough, avoiding to read for 10 minutes. But in Rosalie first.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory for Srila Prabhupada. I'm laughing because I'm thinking maybe the 3 of us have the same question. But I noticed in text 20 that that somehow when we are in devotional service and we're having in a state of unalloyed goodness, whatever unalloyed means, maybe you could explain. It says that we gain scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead. Why does this transcendental knowledge bring the scientific knowledge?
So first of all, I didn't born in America or in England, so English is still a second, maybe third language. But what I understand about unalloyed means the contrary of alloyed. I think alloyed means a composition of metals. Is that correct? Is that correct or not? No. Yes. Richard says yes. Rosalind says no.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know either.
Yeah, we can look in the dictionary, but what I understood until now, that alloyed means impure, means a composition of something. And this is the meaning of the use that Prabhupada does when he said unalloyed means pure. Like devotional service without sattva, without rajas, without a tinge of sattva, without a tinge of rajas, without a tinge of tamas. If someone wants to look for the word alloyed, that would be so nice. So, and this is the what I understand, means pure. About scientific, this is a translation of the word vijnana. There are two words referring to knowledge. Jnana, which means knowledge, and vijnana means realized knowledge. There are two different levels of knowledge. Just like I may know that I am a spirit soul, I'm not this body, and as soon as the class finishes, I go in front of my mirror and say, oh, you are a beautiful man or a beautiful woman. So I know that I'm not this body, but still I am identified with it. But this is jnana, and just theoretical knowledge. Vijnana means I hear I'm not this body, I go in front of a mirror and I say, well, you know, this is not much different from my car. You know, it is a vehicle that I'm using for some time. I may live in this body 20, 30, 70, 80. I will leave it. And when I will leave it after, I will take another body. And this is scientific knowledge. You know, scientific knowledge means realization. So realization may mean a partial realization or a complete realization. There is no only one level of realization. Of course, a great acharyas like our Srila Prabhupada, the great acharyas, Rupa Sanatana, etc., they have a complete vijnana. But there is not only complete vijnana or no vijnana whatsoever. There are all different grades, as we always say, different level of gray between black and white. So this is the why in this verse, Srila Prabhupada liked to use the word scientific. What is science? You know, religion, I believe. Philosophy, I understand. Science, I prove. You know, I go in laboratory and I prove it. I do experiments, and by experiments, you prove what you were saying. So scientific knowledge means proven knowledge, proven with the laboratory of your life. You have practiced so much Krishna consciousness that you become certain because you are realized. And there is no need that you have a complete realization. Some realization is enough to make you sure that what you are doing is right, what you are doing is correct. So this is the meaning of the word vijnana, or scientific knowledge. But we'll go back one day to explain the word vijnana, because there would be more to say. Bati Rosario, luego Hans.
Thank you.
And after Batin Cassandra. Bati Rosario.
Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj. You mentioned that we should leave a list in the Sattva guna. When you say a list, what is the other best option that we have?
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry if I interrupt you. I'm very sorry always to interrupt people. I was right. So the dictionary from the Oxford languages, alloy. Alloy means alloying tin with copper to make bronze. Yay.
That is the first time in my life that I see this word, Guru Maharaj. You know, the English is my second language, and I learned it as an adult.
So, Cassandra, you never heard this word?
Did you say unalloyed? Did I hear it right?
Okay, I will show you.
Maybe I think I looked up the wrong word. I could have.
Alloy.
Oh, okay. Alloy.
So, alloyed means don't alloy it, and unalloyed means not alloyed. So alloy means alloying things, and mixing tin with copper to make bronze. This is an example. Means the bronze is not a pure metal, but it's a composition of metals. So when Srila Prabhupada used the word unalloyed, means without composition of sattva guna, Raja e Tamas, but pure. That's the meaning of the word unalloyed.
Thank you. That was very nice.
I will teach you English.
Please.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Maharaj, I believe that it's pronounced alloy, not alloy. Alloy, not alloy.
Alloy.
Yeah,
Okay,
alloy.
you'll
Alloyed.
you'll teach me diction, and I will teach you English.
Thank you.
Okay, Bhatti Rosario, sorry for the interruption.
No, it was very good. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you. So my question was that we know that about the three gunas, and you said that we should try to live at least in the sattva guna. So what is the other option that is better than that?
Well, because there are different kinds of sattva. There is not, when we speak about something in Krishna consciousness, I mean, you have to understand that you arrived in an ocean of knowledge. You know, our philosophy, I mean, you can study our philosophy the whole of your life, you don't even see the end. So everything, when we say the three gunas, does not mean that there are only three gunas. There are sub-products of each of these gunas, and each one of them has many other subdivisions. So there are different kinds of sattva guna. Obviously, the best sattva is a Vishuddha sattva. Vishuddha sattva means completely pure. But from Vishuddha sattva and sattva, there are many different grades. So that's why in the Srimad Bhagavatam verse, he says, at least you should be in sattva guna. Sattva guna means you should be cleaned in your dress, in your speech, in your thought, in your watching. What you watch should be cleaned. What you hear should be cleaned. So this forms you as a brahmana, or as a, that's why I always protest against those who say, oh, this is a detail. It's not important. No, the truth is made of detail. You don't become something better without the detail. It's like saying that the drop doesn't matter. What it matters is the ocean. But the ocean is made of drops. If you start taking away all the drops of an ocean, at the end, you empty the ocean. So the details in Krishna consciousness are important. There is no superfluous detailing Krishna consciousness. Of course, that doesn't mean that we should get crazy for all little details that we teach. It's a lot. In one sense, sometimes it's too much. Okay, this I agree. But what I'm saying that by principle, one should not say that it is useless or it is superfluous. You say it's too much, I cannot do it. Okay, tell me what I should do. And then I will say, okay, these are the main things that you should do. Preach, chant Hare Krishna. How should I chant it? As you like. At the beginning, when somebody comes to the temple, I don't even talk about the offenses because they just arrived. You don't tell them much. You just chant Hare Krishna. But should I chant seated in the Padmasana? No, who cares about it? You just chant when you go in your car, when you cannot even chant, think, you see. Then when you become more advanced, then then you say, okay, now try to chant in a clean place, etc., etc. And then the rules, the Brahminical rules, becomes more stringent. Is that clear?
Sure. Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj. Thank you.
Hans?
Thank you, Maharaj, for being available to us. You had mentioned earlier that if not a pure devotee, one can fall down. So just, is a pure devotee equivalent to being a perfect devotee, or is it just pure in intention? Like, can you break that down? Just, maybe at what state, like a devotee has a chance to staying on the path? Because I know perfection probably isn't possible, right?
This is not an easy, there is no easy answer to this question because it's very articulated. We can go on and on speaking. In this case, this is purity, but you can still fall down. Like in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we know the story of Bharata Maharaja. He was so pure that when he was thinking to Krishna, to Vishnu, he would cry in ecstasy, in pure love. But he became attached to a she-deer, and then he fell down, you see. So was he pure or was he not pure? What stage of purity he had? Evidently, he was pure, but not so pure. And another person may be so pure, but not enough pure. So there is a very nice phrase in the Bhagavad Gita when he says, Mama Maya Duratyaya. This is a phrase that every single devotee from the first day that he puts his foot in a temple here, Mama Maya Duratyaya. Mama means mine. Means it's my energy, it's a divine energy, Maya. And it is an experience of every senior devotee that when he thinks to his past, and in some cases even to his present, and he thinks, how could I be so crazy? I could have been so crazy to become victimized by this stupid, nonsensical thing, you see? And you think, this is impossible. I won't do it now, So how would they do it? Because Maya makes you do it. It's so powerful, it's so strong. And there are moments of your day, moments of your life when you think that this is good, or this is not so bad. I can be a pure devotee, but it's not so bad to be attached to this thing. So according to our philosophy, there is only one person who cannot fall down. Someone who is a product of the superior energy. You see, every other energy who was or still is part of the marginal energy, in theory, can still fall down. So who is Rupa Goswami? Luckily, we have knowledge that Rupa Goswami was not, or never was, a Tatastha Shakti Jiva. Tatastha Shakti means an energy which is marginal. Marginal means he received information from the material world and he received information from the spiritual world. And he's in the middle, so he has to decide what he wants, one or the other. But this never happens to those who are part of the spiritual world, with Shakti, the superior energy. So Rupa Goswami, according to our scripture, is a gopi. Okay, actually a manjari, which is a small gopi, younger gopi. Okay, so being a manjari is part of the superior energy. It can never fall down. So, but there is one point that one time one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, and he said, when we go back to the spiritual world, can we fall down again? And Prabhupada said, yes. But you don't do. In theory, you can, but you don't. So both in the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that when you go back to the spiritual world, you never fall down. This is a verse directly from the Bhagavad Gita. But Srila Prabhupada explained to us that theoretically, we cannot deny the possibility of falling down, because otherwise we deny free choice, which is the base of love, which is the base of prema. Prema eternally is based on free choice. I love Krishna because I want to love Krishna. If I don't want to love Krishna, it's not that there is somebody who tells me, no, you cannot fall down, you must love Krishna. No, you can fall down. But this is only theory, this is only a philosophical concept. It's not reality, because once you go back to Krishna, you choose freely to never come back in the material world. So the difference between those who never came in this material world, like the gopis and, you know, Radharani and the Vishnu Tattva, etc., they never came to this material world, or they never fell down in this material world. Everybody else who is made of the same nature, they never came to this material world, so they can never come or fell down in this material world. But those who went to the spiritual world, who were once part, or were constitutionally part of the Tasta Shakti, theoretically, they could fall down again. So what it means to be a pure devotee? Pure devotee means I choose every day, every moment that I want to stay with Krishna. And Maya will tempt you. Maya will tell you, that is not so bad, you know. There are so many nice things. You can go, you know, do this, or you can go do that, but you choose, no, I will not. And the more you become advanced in the spiritual life, more this choice becomes easy. The more you become attached to Krishna, and then it's easier. While in the beginning, it's not so easy. It's hard. It's hard because the attraction is very, very, very present. It's very, very present, very strong. And so being a pure devotee means freely choosing to be with Krishna always. There are other definitions of pure devotee, of course there are. Descriptions are full of description of pure devotee. But I think in this context, this is an acceptable definition. Bhakti Cassandra?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I wanted to, this is not a question, but I did want to tell you that if you want me to read the rest of the verses on this chapter, I can read them.
Please, okay? Yeah. Because my eyes are itching and I have a problem. Yeah, I just please don't, you know, I will interrupt you. Yeah. So you just, you know, accept that I will interrupt. So please, let's go on to read the 1-2-25, but let me read the Sanskrit, because this verse is beautiful, very famous also. So I heard this verse, I think the second day that I came to the temple, actually the first time that I went to a Bhagavatam class in the temple, so I never forget it. So it's very beautiful. Bejire munayota agre Bhagavantam adokshajam sattam vishuddham kshemaya kalpante yenutan iha. Can you please read the translation?
Previously, all the great sages rendered service unto the personality of Godhead due to his existence above the three modes of material nature. They worshipped him to become free from material conditions and thus derive the ultimate benefit. Whoever follows such great authorities is also eligible for liberation from the material world.
We have spoken about the authorities. I don't think we are going to take much time, because just a couple of weeks ago we spent, but actually, yeah, we are talking about authority in the Italian video conference, which is tomorrow. But anyway, you don't go anywhere without an authority. Do you want to learn physics? You go to a physician. You don't learn it by yourself. You want to learn mathematics, you go to a mathematician. That's so obvious. They're so obvious that you need a teacher. You need somebody who can help you to understand. So we have information here. The great sages render service unto the personality of Godhead. So we must follow his example. Just let me, I saw just now your note, the definition of unalloyed, or metal, not alloyed pure. Yes. Unalloyed copper, chiefly of emotions, complete and unreserved. TK. Okay, so let's go to the verse 26. Mumukshavo ghora rupan hitvam bhuta patinnatha narayanam kalashanta bhajanti hi anusuyavaha. So please read the translation.
Those who are serious about liberation are certainly non-envious, and they respect all, yet they reject the horrible and ghastly forms of the demigods and worship all the all-blissful forms of Lord Vishnu and his plenary portions.
This is a beautiful verse because our culture, Brahminical Vaishnava culture, is to always be respectful to everybody, okay? But we are reading the Mahabharata now, and Arjuna was not very respectful. He was killing millions of people. So how do we put together these two things? You know, there are time and circumstances. Srila Prabhupada used the three words Kala, Desha, Patra. Kala, time, Desha, place, and Patra, circumstance. But the circumstance does not replace the main principle. The main principle of Vaishnava culture is to be respectful to all. It's not that I find that a person who deserves to be chastised. No, I will not chastise him because I need to be respectful to everybody. That's not our philosophy. Because if you don't chastise a person who is meritorious or who deserves to be chastised, you are helping him to continue being offensive. So you have to chastise him but the moment you chastise him, it's not that the principle of being respectful is replaced by the chastisement. That is secondary, okay? So those are serious about liberation, certainly non-envious. Non-envious means I don't hate you. Even if you do bad things to me, I don't hate you, okay? And I respect you, but I reject a horrible and ghastly form of the demigods. You know, I will reject anything that is not conducive to my Krishna consciousness. In this case, we are talking about the demigods. I will not replace the worship of Krishna with the worship of the devas, because the devas will give me a lot of material facilities. No, I reject that, and I will continue worshiping only the all blissful form of Vishnu and his plenary portions. So I take excuse of this verse just to make a point about main principle and secondary principle, okay? If somebody comes to the temple and tell me, should I chant, first time that he comes to the temple, and say me, must I chant 16 rounds to come to the temple? I would say, no. Oh God, no. Chant. How much should I chant? Doesn't matter. Just chant. Okay? So this instruction will replace the Srila Prabhupada instruction to his disciple that to be initiated they should chant 16 rounds a day. No, because a Kala Desha Patra. This is a secondary instruction given for time, person, and circumstance. Is this principle clear? I'm sure, yes, it is clear. All right. yeah, the 10 minutes, and after I have a couple of big announcements to make, huge announcements. And verse number 27, Rajastamam Prakritaya, Samashila Bhajantivai, Pitri Bhuta Prajeshadin, Shiya Ishvarya Prajepsavaha. That's beautiful. Sanskrit is so beautiful. Okay, translation.
Those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance worship those in the same category, namely the forefathers, other living beings, and the demigods who are in charge of cosmic activities, for they are urged by a desire to be materially benefited with women, wealth, power, and progeny.
Yes, if you worship the demigods, you can get a lot of material facilities, okay? But it's not very wise because it's temporary, number one, and there is something worse than temporary. You can say, what is worse than temporary? No, there is something worse. While you are enjoying them, you are not satisfied. So you are making a lot of effort to get money and family and beauty and like this. It's there is some pleasure sometimes, but it's not enough. You want more. And so temporary and incomplete or insufficient, these are the two problems of materialistic life. So we should not worship the demigods, but we should worship only the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So let's see if we have more time. We can continue reading, but I want to give you a couple of announcements. So first of all, Batin Abby is here. She was here. Oh, she left. Oh, okay. Anyway, but Andy's here. This is your Mahabharata. I want to stop the video just 1 second. Okay. This is a Bhakta Andy and Bhaktin Cassandra copies of the Mahabharata. They arrived in English, of course. Look, that's a big book, isn't it? This has been corrected, one by Bhakta Andy and this other one by Bhakti Rosario. I hope that Krishna and Srila Prabhupada give them all the blessings they deserve. And these are also the copies of Bhakti Abby. And soon, in a few days, the copies of Bhakta Jose, who ordered the books, will be here. And if you didn't order the Mahabharata, bad for you. You are not going to enjoy life. Because Mahabharata is so beautiful. So this is the first announcement I wanted to make, just to cheer up Bhakta Andy, I think Cassandra, Abby, and the other one. And the other announcement, you may remember that some time ago, I was talking about a database or a library, huge library with tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands. We had some, first of all, because I was very busy, we had some technical problem with that. So we have been working very hard with Ishvara Das, who is an angel, who is not a man, but is an angel coming from the spiritual sky to help me. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. He has been working with me since 2002, 20 years full. And there is nothing that I asked him that he didn't do. He never protested. He never asked me for it. Sometimes I send him something because he needs some money. I don't have money also, but whatever you send me, I give him. So, so we work in the technology so that we can do now we can do our database in ishvara.org website, and in such a way that we can choose, of course, Ishvara.org website. This is the Ishvara.org website, which is my home, my temple, my preaching center. And here is going to be our, and there will be 3 levels of entry. The free entry, where everybody can read everything. The second entry, with those who subscribe. And the third entry, which is my private thing, nobody can read, nobody can. So every level, the lower level, will not be able even to see. They will see the title, but they will not be able to read what's inside. So the second level, he will be able to see, which is going to be the biggest level, where there will be someone has to subscribe, and he will, and I'm going now to start again. Right now in ishvara.org, there are more than 6,000 articles, which is nothing, peanuts, comparing to what I have. Right now, I have more than 160,000 documents, of course, books and magazines and articles and videos and everything will be there soon, and it will take some time, and it's going to be very professional and very, very nice, very, very beautiful. And just yesterday we finalized all the technical. We spent days and nights to put this up, because you don't see anything, but behind it there is a lot of technical work. And so we finished, and now the charging or the uploading all the documents is going to start. If anybody wants to help me, I have a lot of service for every one of you. There is not only editing my books, but there is a lot of even mechanical or practical work to do. Just taking a file and put it in our library. There's a lot of devotional service to do. I offer it. If anybody can do it, is welcome. If you don't do it, it's because you can't. I know every one of you loves devotional service, etc. If you don't do it because you can't, if you could, then you would do it. I know that. So no guilt feeling, please. Just be happy in Krishna consciousness. So now I think my announcement, the last announcement, is that I'm still working in the Italian Mahabharata, which had some mistakes, little things, just like Batin Rosario is working on the Spanish Mahabharata, which are small problems. It's not the big things. We solved many of them. So I don't want to say to those who bought the Spanish Mahabharata that there are a lot of mistakes. That's secondary mistakes. But she is trying to make it perfect. So it will take some more time. But at the end, we'll have don't forget, Jiva Goswami said, Kali Yuga, Itihasa, and Puranas. Bhagavad Gita is part of an Itihasa. Itihasa is Ramayana and Mahabharata. Bhagavad Gita is part of the Mahabharata. And Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam is Bhagavata Purana, it's one of the Purana. So Itihasa and Purana, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam are the main books that we study and practice. So I saw before, maybe it was a mistake on the part of Dhananjaya Prabhu. He raised his hand. Maybe he wanted to say something, or maybe it was a mistake.
Yes, Maharaj, sorry, it was a mistake, but it was very nice hearing you.
Thank you. I like, so although it's a black square that you show us, still, every time I say, Hari, Hari, Haribol, Haribol, we all love your presence every time we read your name. I mean, as Dhananjaya Prabhu Christian Center is one of the most peaceful and simple, but in a positive, simple, in nice way. I love every time he invites me to go there, and there are so nice devotees. And the devotees who sing, the percentage of very good singers in this preaching center, it's more than any other place. Many other, even important temples, there are very good singers, of course, but there are also people who sing who shouldn't sing. While here in our San Antonio Preaching Center, there are at least 4 of very nice singers I like. Okay, so we have other 10 minutes, or maybe more. And if there is any other question, otherwise we're going to read a couple of more verses, and then we'll stop the class. Okay, this Sunday, Jivananda Prabhu will be, which is an important devotee, is an initiating spiritual master, ISKCON spiritual master, is coming to our preaching center. So everybody, you should not miss him. And in 2 weeks, I will be also there to enjoy your association. Okay, so any other question? No. Okay, so we are going to read a couple of verses, and then we'll adjourn. Vasudeva para Veda, Vasudeva para Makaha, Vasudeva para Yoga, Vasudeva para Kriyaha, Vasudeva param Jnanam, Vasudeva param Tapaha, Vasudeva paro Dharmo, Vasudeva para Gati. I could not read this verse. Please read it.
In the revealed scriptures, the ultimate object of knowledge is Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. The purpose of performing sacrifice is to please Him. Yoga is for realizing Him. All fruitive activities are ultimately rewarded by Him only. He is supreme knowledge, and all severe austerities are performed to know Him. Religion, Dharma, is rendering loving service unto Him. He is the supreme goal of life.
So what is the main topic of the scriptures? Is Krishna. So this verse talks about Him, and it tells us who He is, what He is, meaning what is a person. What it doesn't refer to a person. But what He is means conceptually what He is. And so it is very important, because we cannot be devotees of Krishna if we do not know who Krishna is. It is not enough to say that God is good. Of course it's good, can't be bad. It's not enough to say that God lives in the heaven. It's okay, He lives in the heaven, but how is this heaven? It is not enough that we say that we should follow God's laws, of course, but what are these laws? So the quantity and quality of information that we have of Krishna is gargantual. Gargantual, that's English. That's, I assure you. Gargantual means enormous. You can talk about Krishna, only talking about Krishna, not talking about philosophy, we are this and that, just Krishna. You can talk and talk and talk and never stop. So the ultimate origin knowledge, of course, is Krishna. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Brahma means Krishna. Okay. Why the first verse of the Vedanta Sutra is Atato Brahma Jigyasa? Because he establishes what is the main topic of the book. Just like Srimad Bhagavata, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate, Om means this is Veda, because Omkara or Pranava is the Vedic mantra. So Bhagavata Purana say, Bhagavata Purana is not something else, it's Veda. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavata means the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vasudevaya is the son of Vasudeva, which means Krishna. And not only Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya tell you who is God, but also tells you only with one word what is the way to realize him, Namaha, which means bhakti. So in invocation of the Srimad Bhagavatam, immediately Srimad Bhagavatam, the whole Bhagavatam is about Vasudeva and bhakti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Every single scripture begins like Mahabharata, like the Ramayana, all begins by making clear that this book is about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this verse is very beautiful because it tells us who Krishna is. Okay, so another verse, and if there is no question, we go back to our life. Sa evidam sasarjagre bhagavan atmamayaya sadasarupaya chasau gunama gunavibuhu. That's, let me, just a second. Yes, please translate it, read it.
In the beginning of the material creation, that absolute personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, in his transcendental position, created the energies of cause and effect by his own internal energy.
He activated material energy. If there is no causal reaction, there is no activation. It's just like writing a program for the computer. Okay, if you don't finish a software program with the activation key, then it's just words. It doesn't mean anything, doesn't do anything. So Krishna activates material energy by gunamaya guna vibhuhu, by activated by his internal energy. So he is the original cause of material creation. It's not like scientists who say that material creation came from a big bang or from chemicals coming together. Who knows who put them together, you know, just they came together, a big bang, who caused the big bang, who put the things that been banged, you know, nobody knows. It's just a speculation. Speculation means that that they feel good by intellectual movement. Otherwise, they suffer. They feel, why do I live if I don't do something? You know, and we also like to think. We also like to speculate in the positive sense. We want to understand philosophy. We have plenty of philosophy to understand. Not that we don't like to understand deeper philosophy, but it should be based on Shabda, Pramana Shabda. There are three types of Shabda: Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Shabda. Pratyaksha means proof by senses. I believe if I see or hear, or Anumana means I believe if I understand. Shabda, I believe if Krishna tells me. That means the scripture and the spiritual masters, because they have absolute truth. Doesn't mean that the senses or intelligence, there is no use for them. Of course not, of course. But they are secondary because senses are imperfect and our intelligence is also imperfect. So Pratyaksha Pramana, Pramana means evidence, and Anumana Pramana, they're okay, but they're imperfect. while Shabda Pramana, that's perfect. Until now, there is not been one single mistake that anyone have found in the Vedas, in the Purana, and the Upanishad. So all the great Acharya, they found them perfect, and we can accept them as such. Okay, so any other question? No question? So, Bhakti Rosalind? Yes.
Hare Krishna. I'd like to go back to this idea of the colors. When you asked, we were speaking about the three gunas, and you asked what the colors suggested, because I have an old question from the Nectar of Devotion, chapter 8, point number 13, where it says one should not enter the temple wearing garments of red or blue color. And I'm not sure if you answered this, and I don't remember the answer, but I wonder if it has something to do with the gunas. And I wonder if it's really applicable to women who wear saris, because I know the men basically wear the same colors, but all the time, white or orange. Could you answer this for me, please?
Sure. Well, actually, the problem with red and blue is not about the guna, but there are traditional or Puranic problems, you know. For instance, the red, you find the history of red in the Vishnu Purana. In the Vishnu Purana, there is a very long story telling how the Bauddha philosophy, the Bauddhavada, means the Buddhist philosophy, came to be manifested by Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is a long story. I'm not going to say it now. Maybe some other time I will take my notes, but it's like 3 or 4 pages, you know. So in that case, there was the demons, the Asura, they were called, not the demons. It's a heavy word. Asura is not always demons, but these persons who did not want to accept the very conclusions, and so Buddha came. The original Buddha, not the Buddha that we know. There are other Buddha. Buddha is just in the disciple, is a part of the Parampara of Buddha. Okay, the Buddha that he came in this world about 2,500 years ago, you know, more or less. He was part of a chain of Buddhas. Buddha means guru, basically. Buddha means someone who knows, not enlightened. Buddha comes from Buddha, Sanskrit, which means to know. So Buddha is someone who knows. Okay, so many years ago, thousands of years ago, at the beginning of the Kali Yuga, there were already persons who, at the beginning of the very degraded age, started to reject the very conclusions and started to do things like killing animals, which is against our philosophy, our culture. Animals should never, ever be killed. You know, we should not eat meat. We should be vegetarian. And we should offer our food to Krishna, of course. But first of all, be vegetarian, especially cows. Cows should not be killed for no reason in the world. So that's what's starting to happen at the beginning of Kali Yuga. So Vishnu came in a form, and he started to preach. And it's very, very beautiful, because the Vishnu Purana I have, it contains all the verses in Sanskrit. And reading what Vishnu said in Sanskrit is so beautiful. And at the end, he was saying, Buddhyatvam. Buddhyatvam means you should know. And the other, they answer Buddhyate, means, okay, we understood, we know. And from that, the word Buddha or Buddhist came. It came from the Vishnu Purana, where Vishnu was asking if they understood. Okay, answering, I understood, then it came the word Buddha. In that occasion, so his disciples started asked the Buddha, the incarnation of Vishnu, how should we dress? And he said, you should dress in what's the name in English of the color the sannyasi used? The saffron, in saffron. But they misunderstood what saffron is, so they started to use more stronger saffron, and they became red. So the Hindu, the followers of the Vedas, seeing that the degraded Buddhists were wearing the color red, they said, okay, this color, whoever wears the red color should never enter into a temple. And it became like a tradition from thousands of years. In a Hindu temple, you should never wear red. About women wearing red, that's a different thing. First of all, because women never wears completely red. And also the original Buddhists, they were not women, they were men. So there is a difference between men and women in that case. So the red color, or predominantly, not only red, but red with golden, red with different types of color, other colors of, or I say that in English, or disegni.
Designs.
Yeah, drawings and different things. You know,
Designs.
You know better than me. No, all the that's acceptable. And actually, the women, the day of their marriage, they should wear red, not completely, red, predominantly red sari. That's the tradition. While men should never wear red, nor complete blue. Not complete blue, because
Why
Krishna,
blue? Why not blue?
Because Krishna is the color, so we should not wear the same color that Krishna.
Okay, thank you.
A big pleasure, and one day I will tell you the whole story of how the Buddhism began. All right, is that all? Is that it? All those who understand some Spanish, I give them the appointment to Saturday for our tomorrow, our midday here, 7 o'clock in Italy. We are going to have the video conference. I'm giving now, since some time, 3 video conferences per week. Thursday in English, and Friday in Italian, and Saturday in Spanish. So I enjoy preaching very, very much. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much.